Hey, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or it's the middle of the night and you've decided to join us. Thank you. Welcome. I'm Liz, and this is thisfullhouse.com. Today, I get the extreme pleasure of sharing with you one of my favorite go-to family recipes from my childhood, featuring eggs as the one of the main ingredients. Through my work with Eggland's Best as one of their pink uh, dozen bloggers for the month of October, I'm getting to learn a lot of neat and share a lot of neat information with eggs. I won't, you can read it up there. I won't bore you with it. You're welcome. Today, I really want to focus on this post is sharing with you Racot Krumpli, my recipe for Racot Krumpli, which means layered potatoes. My parents are from Hungary. I grew up speaking Hungarian and learned to cook yummy stuff that my mom made and my grandmother would cook. Oh, and by the way, I am dressed, believe it or not. Fall has come back to New Jersey. It was warm there for a while, but it's back, and I don't cook in pearls. I have aprons, but I really don't wear them, so this is real, folks. This is it. So sit back, grab yourself a cup of coffee if you haven't. Oh, and if you want to change into something comfortable, go ahead. There, isn't that better? So sit back, relax, and my first vlogging attempt at cooking a recipe, Paula Deen, has nothing to worry about, I'm sure, but I hope you enjoy it, okay? Here we go. These are the ingredients you will need to make Racot Krumpli at your house. It's got 5 ingredients, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which to me makes an awesomely attractive recipe. Frankly, we all know how busy we are. We do not need to be reminded. So taking the pressure off by having 5 ingredients or less, ingredients that I can pronounce or that are readily available at the store, that's the recipe for me. It just takes the pressure off, makes cooking that much more enjoyable. So we have about 10 potatoes that I par-cooked or partially cooked. Basically that means you should take your fork and you can stick it in, and there's a little resistance in the center. That's what you want, and I'll explain why later. We have a dozen eggs, Eggland's Best eggs that I've cooked out, hard boil. We have a pound of Polish kielbasa. I'll explain a little bit more about that as we put our meal together. And we have a stick of butter, or half a pound. We have 16 ounces or a pound of sour cream, salt and pepper, and this really isn't in the original recipe, but Mom and I like to use plain breadcrumbs, and I'll explain a little bit more why as we start putting the meal together. Taking a 2.5 quart, I took my favorite casserole dish here, and I've taken some of the butter and given it a nice smear. Yes, it is a word. Smeared it just so after this bakes it'll be easier to serve. So we set up sort of like an assembly line. Now the reason we par-cook the potatoes is because they're easier to cut. Just like you par-cook lasagna noodles, same thing with the potatoes. So you're gonna, and if it breaks, no big deal. Honestly, it all goes in the same place. No one's gonna really penalize you for it, trust me. So you're going to cut the potatoes into, and that's fine too. Like I said, in fact, I'm not going to cut that one either. So you take your potatoes and you line them. I don't know if you can see that. I'll bring it closer, but you line the potatoes right next to each other. This all cooks together, so there's really no right or wrong way to do this recipe. But you do want to cut the potatoes fresh as you're putting your meal together. Because if you did this and let it sit there, it would most likely dry out. And like I said, if it breaks, like I said, no problem. It's all going to go in the same place. So we're going to continue lining the bottom of the casserole dish. Okay, so we have our first layer of potatoes. We're going to give them a little bit of a dusting with salt. I'm using sea salt. You can use what your favorite salt, kosher salt, regular table salt, that's fine. And this is to taste. A little bit of fresh cracked pepper. Then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. No, we're not. Okay, we're not. This is where the butter comes in. So the butter, we're going to take, I've cut them into little cubes, and you sort of just dot them. With this recipe now, Hungarians, as I do this, Hungarians, my parents have, full disclosure, they both have, my father has diabetes, my mother high blood pressure, my father heart disease. So not the healthiest diet growing up. Today, thankfully, we have available to us better products, I guess. We have the choice, I should say. For instance, use less butter, perhaps use margarine. But remember, this is an entire casserole. So this butter is you're gonna serve at least 4 to 6 people with this casserole. So we've dotted the potatoes with the butter. Now we're going to go ahead and take the sour cream. Same with the sour cream. I'm using full-blown sour cream here. You can use reduced fat sour cream. There's, again, most brands have reduced fat, reduced salt, if that's the case, products available. So you're going to take the sour cream. And again, this is not a meal that we eat every day. This is, one of those fall meals. Certainly you can serve it for a special breakfast. This is a great brunch. This would be an awesome brunch meal, and I am big on brunches. I love having brunches. For us, it was dinner. It's something Mom can throw together really quick after work. She worked full-time. When I was growing up younger, Mom and Dad worked full-time jobs during the day and had part-time jobs at night. So this was something that she could throw together really quick and throw it into the oven. So we've dotted our sour cream. Now we're going to go ahead. I keep grabbing the eggs. They're not yet. So now we're going to grab our kielbasa. And what we're going to do is just, same thing, kind of willy-nilly. Yes, that's also a word. Line your potatoes with the kielbasa. Now, same with the kielbasa. This, however, is not full-blown kielbasa. This is, I think I saved the wrapper so I wouldn't get this wrong. Here we go, I did. Okay, this is light Polska kielbasa. It's got half the fat and 1/3 of the calories of other kielbasas. There are certainly more choices out there for kielbasa than when I was growing up. There's turkey kielbasa, there's all pork, all beef. This meal, when I was growing up, was made with Hungarian kolbász, or Hungarian kielbasa, which was a lot like chorizo. I don't use it because it tends to dry out more when you bake it. I like the Polska kielbasa or Polish kielbasa because it just stays nice and moist. So now it's time for the eggs. We take the eggs. Same thing with the eggs. Don't cut them up ahead of time. Do it as you're assembling this meal. Cut it as you're assembling this meal. And again, it doesn't matter. No one's here in your kitchen watching you. Of course, you are watching me now. I invited you in. That's perfectly fine. You're at home. The kids are all over the place. 9 times out of 10, you're being interrupted. It's never this quiet at my house. I can almost guarantee you it is never this quiet. Then again, I don't really get a chance to cook like this during the morning because I'm, also work. But you're here with me and we're cooking together. But point being is, you are in your own kitchen. What you do in your kitchen stays in your kitchen. So don't worry if you're not the neatest, or you're wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt, or even your pajamas. Heck, no one cares. This is going to be delicious no matter what you're wearing. Okay, that is the first layer. And basically what you're going to do is continue on with the layers. Does that look good? Oh, my mouth is watering. The second layer. What I neglected to tell you is the breadcrumbs, where they come into play. Well, between the first layer and the second layer, I sprinkled a little bit of breadcrumbs. There's the sour cream and the butter. What happens with that once it starts baking, it starts to get nice and oozy. So the breadcrumbs will soak up that ooziness. It won't be as liquidy, and oh my gosh, that's just yummy in of itself. So then I added a couple of more dots of sour cream. I didn't use all the butter, just didn't feel the need to. It's a smaller, this is a smaller casserole dish that I'm used to making. My husband and I will have this for dinner. The kids, not all of them like this particular meal. And I hate to see them pick stuff out and then leave stuff on it just drives me crazy. Poor kids, sometimes they just don't like everything that I cook. So I have a pot roast in the crock pot for them. So anyhow, this is all set. We're going to cover it up. I have a 450-degree oven all set to go. I'm going to pop this in, set the timer. I'm going to set it for 30 minutes, And then, okay, the timer has
Go
gone
get
on.
another
It's been
cup of
30
coffee.
minutes. I had the Racot Krumpli in the oven, 450-degree oven for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, however, the top wasn't as browned as I would like, so I added another 15 minutes onto the time, and it came out perfect. So I did take it out of the oven, and I dished it up just to make sure it was okay. This is the reason why it doesn't matter what the Racot Krumpli looks like when you're putting it together, because this is how it ends up in the bowl, and there's the juices on top. And you know what, I'm going to take this over here. This is why I'll never have a job on Food Network as an online cook or TV cook. That's a Racot Krumpli. I mean, I wish you could smell it. See how it's nice and browned on top, and the juices on the bottom, really not a problem. And you just pour the juice on top, and right there, my friends, that is a bowl of comfort. Warm. It's like a warm hug. It's a piece of my childhood that I'm really happy to be able to share with you. Racot Krumpli, or layered potatoes, and I really hope you try it at your house, because it is a very easy meal to put together, perfect for any time of the year. I've served this for New Year's brunch at my mother-in-law's. I've served it for lunch, for breakfast here. In fact, this will be my breakfast, heck with dinner, today. There's a Halloween parade I have to get to, so yeah, Racot Krumpli, give it a shot. It's really yummy. Thanks. Have a great weekend, and happy Halloween.